When I think about my grandma's house, I feel a sense of place and how everything in it, from its rooms, its books, unique smells, and my grandmother herself, pieced together to form a cohesive home to live in. Furthermore, the location where the home rests, which is in a historic neighborhood dated to around the late 19th century, is laced with history, acting as preservation of an age-long past, posing as both a learning opportunity and a danger for both new and old comers alike. To start, most of the walls are dim and clay-like, with the floors having a linoleum or a wood foundation to them, which are cold to the touch without proper wear, or rugged plated floors, which are warmer and darker as compared to their counterparts. Connecting to this is my grandmother's love for art, being strung all across the house in personable variety and complexity. From the Irish Constitution and map, which is where her closest family comes from, self-made metallic dolls, miniature gardens, and the multitude of paintings that she has made in her long and experienced life. All sections of the house indicate a creatively skilled individual with a lot of wisdom and hard work, both behind and in the present, to share with love and enthusiasm at every possible moment when available. To continue, as mentioned earlier, the smell of the house is also unique, indicating the age just when you enter it, containing various herbs that illustrate a distinguishable personality of the place before you even see its residents. Lastly, when I think of my grandmother's house, I think not just about what is contained in it, at least not only, but also about my connection to it, and the complicated and perhaps unknown reasons that I feel so versed and familiar within its halls and people so often and so deeply. But before we can get into what I feel personally about the location and my sense of place within it, we must stop and consider, what is the place itself, and what does it truly stand for? As said previously, my grandmother's house is located in what is called an historic neighborhood, which basically means that it is designed as an historic site. That is, across all of the neighborhoods as homes, legally required by the city of Bloomington to not be tampered with by those who call it home. This, in practice, has had very little importance to at least my own perspective on the house, even if, in principle, it is likely very irrelevant to the identity of the home itself. Nevertheless, of the history of my feelings, that fact still plays a role in my grandmother's understanding of the place, especially for how long she has been there. Not necessarily because of the pure age of the house, but the quality/quantity of memories and records that she has accrued in the time that she has made it her stay. Continue on my own memories and experiences with the place. I started my time in my grandmother's house when I was just a baby, staying for a few months until I had my first open heart surgery and was put on ECMO at Raleigh Hospital for Children. My mother and I lived in various places until I was around 9 years of age, when we briefly stayed with my grandma once again. But even before that, I was visiting my grandmother every summer, beginning when I was 5 years old and lived in Indianapolis. In these times, I remember quite fondly that she taught me to play the game Gin Rummy, a game which she was taught to by her grandmother and mother, gardened in her large backyard, which we often call the Enchanted Forest due to its seeming magnificence, painted surprisingly complicated paintings, talked about family history and her own life experiences, and so much more. After this period in my life, we had to stay at my grandmother's house because of my mother wanting to save money and to be safer after we got robbed at our previous location. However, being filled with negative emotions throughout, the time with my grandmother around this age was highly transformative in my development, allowing me more time with my grandmother in her wonderfully filled home. All in all, my grandmother's house is a sense of place not only because of its many unique and fascinating attributes, like its age and its pure creativity, but also due to the long-standing memories and experiences that constitute its very form and structure. That is to say that in all of my time I have been alive and thinking, my grandmother's house is one of the most comforting and emotion-fraught place I have ever known, for it contains so much of what I believe that I can feel and where I can understand. Happiness, anger, sadness, and intrigue have all been felt in its walls, wisping me away as I go through the various periods of my life, as I walk the decades-old interior in lush surroundings. So, to finish, as I have said multiple times over, I feel that my grandmother's house is the best example of a sense of place to me because of the countless times that I have spent along with the many creations I have made as proof, helping me construct and understand the world around me as I fail and succeed in my own intuition and personal identity, making it foremost in my mind of locations, offering both a home and a teaching space unlike any other can offer.